Hello, wonderful people, and thank you for joining me again on this Tuesday afternoon for the Africam Show. It's me, Trishana, and we have some wonderful buffalo to start us off. I'm pretty excited to be here with all of you. It's become like my Tuesday and Thursday little slice of the bush, and of course, time to spend with all of you and have these interesting discussions. So remember that we're live and interactive, so send through your questions and your comments. I do love to hear from all of you, and I'm quite excited that we have some buffalo to start off with. We haven't seen buffalo in a while. There was a time in the similar area that we had one Daga boy, which is a very old male buffalo that was in a similar area. These look like a couple of males as well. Probably also some Daga boys chomping away on the edges of this river. Anyway, we'll chat a little bit about them in a bit. Let's get through some hellos. Michael S says hello and good morning, Trish. Hello and good morning to you. Zygote says hello, Trishala, and hi to Africam. Dia NC says good morning from Seattle. You have your coffee ready at this early hour here. Nothing like a bit of coffee to get you going in the morning. I myself have found that I actually have far too much energy in my body as it is. And so when I have too much coffee, and when I mean too much coffee, I mean more than 1 teaspoon of coffee a day, I actually get very, a bit uncontrollably energetic. So I keep it to 1 teaspoon and then some decaf afterwards. But I'm glad that you're enjoying your coffee, DNC. For me, no coffee until tomorrow morning again. Nosy says hello from Germany. Hello, Nosy. Thank you for joining us. And then we've got Sarah here from Kazakhstan. Thank you so much for joining us again. You say good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well today. I do hope everyone is doing well today, too. Amber says, good Tuesday, everyone, from a snowy Colorado. Thank you, Trishana, for doing the show today. My absolute pleasure. I love spending this time with all of you and with all the animals. So this is our Nomad cam, and you can see there's quite a few Impala coming down to drink. We've spoken about this before. There's so many spots for animals to drink now, and there's just the bush is kind of really shows its abundance in the rainy season. You can see everything's really nice and green. Great feeding for all of the animals. So this is a bachelor herd. You can see that all of them have horns. Just a group of males that will play fight together. There you can see there's a couple there that are having a little go at each other. The third one wants to join. But these are more playful and practice type fighting and interactions as opposed to anything serious. Because this is practice for when they start to become territorial during the rut, which will only happen in about May next year again. Mary Momo says, hi Trishala and all my friends across the world, checking in from a chilly, hot Springs, Arkansas. Thank you for joining us. Andy says, greetings and salutations. Thank you, Trishala, for bringing us all your wonderful knowledge and that cheerful, contagious smile. But you can't see my smile today, Andy, but I promise it's huge. It really is. I went to the hairdresser today, and well, you know, when you have the type of job that needs you to be outdoors a lot, you don't really take care of too many things like, you know, nails or hair and things like that. So today I had a nice little haircut, so I'm feeling quite special. Oh, we're at Rosie's now, and we have the elephant. Now you can see on the left of your screen, there's the back of the hippo. At least it appears to be the hippo. Let's see, as the elephant moves in further, whether we get any reaction. That will be quite interesting to watch. I mean, already it's very interesting because if I'm correct, and I think that I am, never seen a terrapin that size. I hope you can see what I'm pointing out. So it's the left. There we go. Hippo's raised its head now. Oh, let's watch. The hippo can get quite irritated, but is unlikely to be able to chase off the elephant. The elephant will get equally, if not more, irritated once it actually notices the hippo, or if the hippo starts to make any kinds of movements, the elephant will generally react quite strongly. Becky from WVA says, "Good day, everyone," from West Virginia. Zygote says, "Even domestic buffalo love to stay in the water." Absolutely. Buffalo in general love water. There's the noses, the noses, the nostrils of the hippo are popping up every now and then, but it's trying to keep the majority of its body submerged. And that makes total sense for two reasons. One, obviously, it's trying to keep its skin nice and moist and keep itself cool. And secondly, it's probably encountered quite a few elephants that have been, less than hospitable to it. And so it's trying to keep a low profile. That may be, especially if it is not a particularly dominant or experienced hippo. Oh, look in the background there. There's the other hippo walking through. This is fantastic. Oh, we're sure to see something happening here. This is the best type. There we go. Elephants notice that hippo is walking around there. My favorite kinds of sightings are those in which you see two different species interacting. Sometimes they will barely notice each other, sometimes they'll fight, sometimes they'll posture, sometimes they may really enjoy each other's company. That hippo is it's just like a walk by. That's quite unusual for this time of the day. It's 7 minutes past 4 in the afternoon. The sun is quite intense around this time. It's going to start getting less intense as we move into the evening, but we wouldn't expect a hippo to be out at this time. Again, this speaks to the fact that there's lots of water around. So hippos can take more risks in this way because they know that water is nearby, or they would have a sense of what is closest to them. But I'm very surprised that this elephant hasn't reacted to this hippo that's in the water. But I think it's only a matter of time, so we're going to stay put and see what happens. Bob from Kalamazoo, you say, "Good day, Trishala. You have your Diet Coke in hand." Yes. Love it. I hope that I'm not forcing you, Bob, to drink Diet Cokes every Tuesday and Thursday. Because you know that I love knowing these little things about all of you. Tammy, you say, "Good morning, all." Gert in the Netherlands says, "Hello, Trishana. Greetings from the Netherlands." Kel MT says, "Good morning from Montana." Donna Thompson says, "It's beautiful." Absolutely. Oh, I thought there might be something there. The elephant is definitely noticing that something is in the water. I'd be surprised if it hasn't already noticed the hippo, to be honest. Slight head shake, not anything too crazy. That other hippo has moved off, but it's probably going to use the path to come in. So if you look on the right of your screen, can you see that there's an animal path or game path through the bush there? So that would be the area or the path that the hippos use to leave this area and to come back, of course. But the hippo seems to have avoided that particular path. It's also the path that many other animals will use as well. And these types of game paths form quite quickly in the bush. And it's a great place to look for tracks. Cal 8RM, you say, "Good morning from the chilly northeastern seaboard." Good morning to you too. Things are not so chilly here, and a little bit tense as we expecting the hippo to come through, the one that was walking around at the back. Oh, Michael, as you said, you've watched this Waterhole a bunch, I'm sure, especially now when there's a lot of movement around the area, bush is thicker, and of course the hippos. So it's a great idea to keep your eyes fixed on the cams, because this is the time of year when you're going to get, like we spoke about it, it's the wet season, there's abundance. The bush is synonymous with abundance. So there's great sightings to be had, and Waterhole cams are one of the best places to see these things. Mary Momo, you say, is that the little hippo that was there last week? So last week Tuesday, in fact, there were two hippos here. One was slightly smaller than the other. It's likely that this is the smaller hippo, but again, I can't say yes or no because all we saw was basically a back and two nostrils that poked out. And the hippo at the back that was walking along the road that is likely to join this hippo, it was just too far away to make a judgment on size. Mrs. Walrus, hello. You say, hi, Trishala. What's the temperature there at the moment? I'm not sure what the exact temperature up here at Rosie's is, but I'm going to guess it's around 28 degrees Celsius, 82 degrees Fahrenheit. That would be the average temperature around this time in that area. But I'm sure either Aiden or Max will let me know the temperature exactly for you, Mrs. Walrus. Lynn Dillaplane Montez, you say you've been watching African or Africam for years. It's always a thrill. It really is. It's such a great insight into the African wilderness in a really non-invasive way, and I really love it. I'm glad that you have been watching for such a long time. Doris Helsler, you say good morning from North Carolina. You're having tea now. I love hearing about everyone and what they're having. I'm so expecting there to be movement, and this hippo is really playing it very cool. Now, hippos can hold their breath for about 3 to 5 minutes. Some textbooks quote about 7 minutes, but that's quite a long time. And you can see that every now and then the hippo puts its head up, but only its nostrils. So that's the benefit of this long, kind of very flattened face that a hippo has, because it allows the hippo to keep the majority of its body under the water and still be able to pop its nostrils out to breathe. So it doesn't have to show its whole body in order to breathe. There we go, nostrils up. Nothing else has to be exposed. The elephant definitely knows something is up. Stopping every now and then, having a listen, trying to figure out what it is, but the hippo is really playing the game quite well. Sindhuja A, you say greetings from India, greetings from South Africa to you as well. Very glad to have you on board. Bob from Kalamazoo, I think David we call, is having a go at you. He says, Diet Coke, yuck, I'm sipping on Reed's all-natural ginger beer. David, I'll let you and Bob have it out in the comments. I myself, if I'm going to drink a Coke, I rather have the full sugar version. All right, our hippo is up. Minimal reaction from our elephant, but there is some territorial spraying there by the hippo. Territorial behavior is, yes, it is a choice to an extent. A hippo can choose to display its territoriality with the yawns, with spraying the feces, or defecating. But also it is a byproduct of changes in hormones. So if an animal is feeling threatened, they're going to have changes in particular hormones related to stress. And so it can produce, or a byproduct of this is territorial behavior. So this hippo, by defecating in that spraying way, that's a message to other hippos. But because it's feeling in a way that its home area, its water, is kind of being infringed on by this elephant, it will still display territorial behavior because that's the only way it knows how. Is not able to differentiate that, oh, it's an elephant, so it's not going to understand my spraying or my yawn. Our elephant is responding to the hippo's display with a display in kind. Love Livestream says, hello from Chicago, Illinois, USA. Hello, Love Livestream. Sinduja A, you say, this is the first time I'm hearing the live commentary. It's very good and informative. Thank you very much. We do this on Tuesdays from 4 to 4:30 South African time. And then on Thursdays, we have a Wild Moments show as well that we do in the same time slot, and then you'll actually get to see my face. This time you just hear my voice. Okay, I've got confirmation from Aiden that it's 29 degrees Celsius. I was just 1 degree off. Bob from Kalamazoo, you say it's just an everyday thing, your Diet Coke. Well, I'm glad that I'm not spurring you to have more. David Weecall, you are asking, aren't hippos very dangerous? Look at this. Wide open mouth, again, displaying its territoriality. Yes, they are. They are quite dangerous. But whenever we are out in the bush, we always say that any animal is potentially dangerous. Any animal. Hippos do have a reputation of being quite dangerous. And that's because of its sheer size, and yes, they are quite aggressive. Our elephant bull is just walking off there now. The majority of attacks that happen with hippos, or injuries associated with hippos and humans, are most often because hippos are trying to get back to their place of safety, which for them is the water. And so when humans are in between the hippo and their spot of safety, they're going to do whatever it takes to get into the water. So now, apart from this very large barrel-like body, they've also got quite sharp tusks, which are just modified incisor teeth that we see when they open their mouths. So all of this, plus a particularly aggressive disposition, that combination makes them quite a dangerous animal. And on foot, the three animals I would not want to come up against on foot: a hippo, a buffalo, and a black rhino. Now, I've been on foot and seen buffalo before. I've been on foot and seen white rhino before, and elephants. And it's in those situations with white rhino and elephant, it's still dangerous, but at least I'm experienced in that, and I have an idea of what I could do and how to behave. But when it comes to hippos, it's one of those things that we don't, I'm not sure that you're ever prepared for it. And the same goes if you find a buffalo, particularly a Daga boy, which is the older buffaloes that hang out on their own. You have to be very, very, very careful. Oh, look at this. What a wonderful close-up. There you can see all the most important areas of the hippo's head that are its senses, its nose, its eyes, its ears, all above the water with very, very minimal movement. All it has to do is tip up its head, and not even the whole head. Mary Moe, you say the hippo walked by? Yes, it did. It walked by earlier. I'm not sure if it walked by again when I was looking at the elephant, but certainly it was there in the background. Mrs. Walrus, you say, thank you, Trishala. You wish you were here. I really, really hope that you manage to make your way to Africa to see just how wonderful our wildlife it is. I'm very, very glad to live here. There we go. Oh, look at those modified teeth at the bottom there can cause a lot of damage. Maria Fricero, you say beautiful nature. I'm so glad that you are appreciating with us, because I always say that the foundation of good conservation is empathy and appreciation. Curiosity drives those things. Dear NC, you say Monty the Python has also been back to this pan. That's very interesting. So if you're not sure who Monty the Python is, it's a python that has been hanging around here at Rosie's Pan, or has been in the past, who has sort of specialized in catching birds. So the python positions itself right at the top of a tree and then waits for passing birds. And it's quite a spectacular thing to watch. Hopefully we'll be getting more sightings of Monty the Python. Laurie Rotundo, you say good morning from New York here. You're having a coffee? That's great. I'm glad that everyone's got their ginger beers, coffees, Diet Cokes in hand while we get to spend this time together. Bob from Kalamazoo, you say is 28 degrees Celsius. Thank you so much. Sindhuja, you say you hope the elephant is waiting for the hippo. The elephant has walked off, and now we have moved on to see this wonderful croc. Now, without even knowing the temperature up in the low felts at the moment, I can already tell that it's quite warm. Obviously, the sun is out. Yes, that's a giveaway. But if I look at this crocodile, apart from the behaviors of the animals we've already seen on screen, we've seen the buffalo first. They were in water. We've seen the elephant. The elephant has come and splashed itself with water. We saw the hippo is trying to be fully submerged. So that's telling me the sun is beating down, it's quite hot. This croc had its mouth open. It's trying to cool itself down. Oh, this is beautiful. So rarely do we get to see crocodiles walking. Oh, I love it. You know, Nile crocodiles, which are the crocodiles that we get here, so often they just look like a drab gray or a brown. But actually they are very olivey in color, and they're quite speckled. And now we can have a really good look at that coloration. Again, mouth is open. Now, I've explained this before, but I think it's always valuable to go through it again. Inside of the mouth, the skin is so thin that the blood that is in your body and the blood vessels can be right up against that skin. And so any cooling that happens in the exterior or the environment, the cool air can hit that skin, the thin skin, and then transfer that coolness to blood that's circulating around the body. So that's why you see that many animals, or like us, or mammals, will begin to pant, does the same thing, or even yawn, because when you yawn, you take in air, and it hits your palate in your mouth, again, thin skin, and it cools the area. So this is what the croc is doing right now. No, it's not yawning, but it's taking in air to cool itself down, using that nice thin skin in the mouth. So they also have an area that is in their throat, or in the throat area, called the gula, and they can flutter that, which also increases the airflow. and the movement to cool it down even further. So it may be fluttering its gula now, but it's hard to tell. It's much easier to tell with birds. Deborah Kirkland, you say morning from Texas, USA. Bob from Kalamazoo, you say Harold, no pooping in the pool. Have you named the hippo Harold, or are you just being funny? I laugh. Michael S, you say, will they fight over the waterhole? They won't fight over the waterhole. It is a permanent or semi-permanent residence for the hippo, and it is not so for the elephant. And the elephant will win that battle every time, unless it is a calf. So what will happen is that each will sort of display a little bit, and then eventually they'll be forced to share because nobody wants to really confront the other. So they'll fight in that sense of posturing and displaying, but it is very unlikely that they will actually touch each other or make contact in any aggressive manner. It's more of a show. Sindhuja, you'd like to know if the elephant, does the elephant mark its territory too? So elephants don't have territories. Hippos are territorial, elephants are not territorial. Elephants have home ranges. So it's important to maybe go through the difference between a territory and a home range. A home range is an area that an animal will frequent, but it is not defended. A territory, on the other hand, is an area that an animal will defend against other animals of the same species, particularly the same species and the same sex. So, for example, the hippos at Rosie's, they will defend their territory, which will be the pan. They will defend it from other hippos. Now, if it was just a male in that pan, then it would defend that territory only against other males, but it will let other females in. So hippos are territorial, elephants are not. So elephants may display behaviors to show dominance, but they are not territorial. Mrs. Walrus, you say, oh, you're coming to South Africa in April, May next year, and you can't wait. That is a fantastic time to visit the bush, and I hope that you have a really, really good time, and I'm sure that you will. At that time of the year, it's starting to thin out again, because in the summer, as much as the sightings can be very beautiful and there's this abundance in the bush, it's also quite difficult to spot animals because of the thickness. So around April, May, the bush is starting to thin again, but there's still enough resources around, so I'm sure that you'll have a fantastic time. Gen X Jen, you say, good morning from California. The hippo's eyes face different directions. Is it known if they see different images in the mind or one just like us? So I understand what you're saying, because it looks like they face different directions because they're high up on the head, but in fact they don't. So they actually have, it's not fantastic binocular vision, but they actually have pretty good binocular vision. So you know when you see cattle or sheep, things like that, they have their eyes on the sides of their head. So that makes their field of view much larger. And that's very important because they are prey species, so they want to defend themselves against predators. Hippos are not, so they actually have very good binocular vision, even though it may appear that they have poor binocular vision because their eyes are slightly, I know what you mean, but it just looks that way. Their eyes are facing forward. They're not actually on the sides of their heads, fully like a prey species has. Either way, even if that was the case, even like with a sheep or an impala, they're still forming only one image in their brain. I hope that answers your question. Zygote, you say the Egyptian geese racket. Absolutely, it just never stops, does it? They're always causing a racket. I don't have a name here, but someone says, good morning from Virginia, USA. You're so enjoying watching nature. with all its beautiful hippos. The hippo, all the beautiful creatures. The hippo yawn reminded you of yourself. I think that's it's wonderful to see yourself in animals. Margaret Richardson Howard, you say hippos are your favorite animal. Do they have any predators? No, hippos have no natural predators. Their biggest risk in terms of other animals are basically other hippos. There are times, any sick animal is at risk, sick or injured animal, so I'm not going to include that because a sick and injured elephant is at risk to anything, and the same goes for hippos. But in terms of natural predators for healthy hippos, there isn't any natural predators. Hippo calves, they can be taken by lions, for example, but the hippo calf would have to be alone and quite young, and that's unlikely. Oh, and it seems that our time is up. So let me say a quick hello from Pat Sherman, who says good morning from South Dakota. And I am going to say good afternoon from South Africa. Thank you again for joining us. We always have such wonderful discussions. I love that you guys send through your questions and your your comments. Carol Parker, you say, oh no, I tuned in very late. Yes, you have, but just in time for me to say hi to you, Carol. And it's time for us to say goodbye with a nice yawn from the hippos and a yawn from our croc as well. I hope you're all yawning at home. So thanks so much for joining us, everyone, for your questions and your comments. It's always a pleasure. We'll see you again next time. Bye for now.